Good evening, everybody, and today welcome to episode 23 of my real estate YouTube series. Today I'm going to talk about the results of some of the launches that happened in April and May, right? Which is basically the big three, which are North Gaia, Piccadilly Grand, and LivMB. Of course, there are other small launches that happened during this period, but these are the big three that cover the headlines. And we're going to talk about why they perform well or why they didn't perform well, and are they worth buying, right? And what is moving forward. If you've been watching some of my videos previously, there is some of a trend here because I do cover my thoughts and processes about these projects before the launch. And this is the post the launch, so we're going to talk about their performance and how it goes in the future. Okay, so I hope you subscribe if you like my videos here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, and you can get to hear more from me in the future. Okay, so let's move on with a bit of introduction about myself.
Director of Armour Marketing at Ryan
Students Malaysia. So my name is Ryan.
6,000 incoming supply in Johor. This is
I'm writing thank you for attending today's presentation on Iskandar, Malaysia.
So for those of you who are first time listening to my YouTube series, my name is Ryan Khoo. I'm a Malaysian. I'm a real estate investor. When I say real estate investor, I buy and sell lots of properties in Malaysia, Singapore. I've done it since 2007. I made money in real estate a few times, many times, both in Malaysia and Singapore. I have lost money in property. I have made money in property. Today, I'm also a real estate agent with ERA in Singapore, as well as ERA in Malaysia. I wrote a number of books on Iskandar, Malaysia. I made some money in Iskandar, Malaysia. I lost a lot of money in Iskandar, Malaysia as well. But I think what doesn't kill you make you stronger. And I do share a lot of my thoughts about real estate investment on this YouTube channel here. And I think there's lots of things to learn. And I think we should think that real estate investment on some levels is simple, but it's actually in some ways is more complicated than you think. But yeah, I wrote articles for the media, for The Age, Singapore, for Property Guru as well. Did run a lot of events of them pre-pandemic, and I hope post the pandemic we'll do more events again in the future. So today we're going to talk about the three projects, right? Like I mentioned earlier, North Gaia, Piccadilly, Liv, and how they perform, why they perform well, not well, and are they still good buys, and what's happening after this, right? Now let's go through quickly. I'm trying to keep my videos today in 30 minutes. So yeah, some disclaimer, everything here is presented as of information we have of today, which is the end of May, right, 25th of May. Of course, they may change in the future, and do seek financial advice from me or in the future officially if you need to do a proper decision for investments. Okay, so first of all, we talk about North Gaia. Now, North Gaia is an EC, right? Executive condo, right? For those of you who don't know, executive condos are the hybrid between HDB and private. So they are like a condo. They are built like a condo, but you buy requirements like a HDB. But after 5 years, once you get the keys, they become something like a condo. And after 10 years, they become like a fully condo. So lots of people like to buy EC because EC so-called cheaper than private condo. The land price is cheaper than private condo because there's a limited pool of buyers, right? And normally they cater for certain sandwich class, people who are not so rich but some not that poor, either somewhere in the middle, right? Sandwich generation, right? And they are the people who buy EC. And people like to buy EC because after 10 years, once they convert to condo, normally there's a price jump. That's the plus point. So where is North Gaia? North Gaia basically is in Yishun, and it's at the back part of Yishun, actually over here, right? And this Yishun actually, considered quite remote part of Yishun, right? So I guess if you look at Yishun per se, Yishun MRT is here, and this is the busy part of Yishun that most people know. Most people drive this part of Yishun, maybe a bit over here, right? Once you get behind to Junction 9, it's considered quite back of Yishun, right? For those of you who know Yishun, right? So it's not exactly near MRT. So North Gaia is not near MRT, it's not near Yishun MRT, it's not near Khatib MRT. North Gaia's biggest plus point, I guess, is probably its proximity to the reservoir and the nature reserve over here, right? Over here and over here, all these areas are quite green, right? I think that's the plus point of North Gaia itself. So you see from the name that they do it, North Gaia also something that they want to try to push this green greenery and proximity to a nature reserve. So you can see it's near the Khatib Bongsu Park, right, where mangrove swamp, and it's quite nice place for kayaking and things like that. Yishun Park, for Sembawang Spring Park, right. As a project, right, itself, the other unique thing to take note is that they are all three bedders. They don't have 3 bedders and above. They don't have 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, right? And this is so you can see that they're targeting for families, right? On top of their green environment thing. So 616 units, 3 bedrooms and above. So if you are looking for a nice 3-bedroom size or bigger family size unit, right? And you can later I'll show you a floor plan, right? Even for their 3-bedroom size also is okay. It's not that small, right? Considering today's market, 900 plus square feet minimum. Of course, they are bigger sizes, right? But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for minimum 3-bedder EC consideration, I think North Gaia was designed in this manner, right? And you can see that they have basically a north-south orientation. So all these are north-south. I think a lot of developers today, at least smart to do north-south orientation. Nobody wants a west-facing unit, right? So by having north-south orientation, you can avoid all of this. Standard condo facilities, right? This is a sample floor plan. Right, this is the smallest 3-bedder they have, I think, which is 969 square feet. So you can see very compact design. With this kind of sizes, normally the kitchen can be enclosed, right? Living, a dining, 3 bedrooms, right, above, and they do have a storage normally, which is the bomb shelter today, which is HS over here. So this is the small size. Of course, bigger needs to be better, right? Today, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom in Singapore can be quite enjoyable today from recent show flats, right? So I think this is what North Gaia is today. So North Gaia preview sometime in April and launch also sometime in April, and they only hit a 27% sales though on the 23rd of April. This was a bit surprising in a sense because everybody saw EC as something that will sell very well, right? So, but so a couple of things to take note. So number one, only 27% sales, which is in today's market consider a weak result. 27% is not high, right? A lot of projects later I show you are selling much higher than 27% on launch weekend. But the other thing to take note is that 1003 PSF. So 1003 PSF for in EC is considered high. It's probably a new high in a sense. I think we've not seen average price of 1003 for an EC in a long time. So people ask, also why did North Gaia didn't perform well? I think number one, you have to consider location, right? I think it's in the back part of Yishun, not near MRT, so people may not like that. Number two is that when they sell 3-bedder and above, I think you lose out on the investor crowd. There are basically no investor or group in this category because they all investor group normally tend to buy 1-bedder, 2-bedder max. So no investor buying at all in this kind of project, or I won't say at all, but small, no chance to buy 1-bedder, 2-bedder here. Everybody have to buy 3-bedroom and above, which means that all end user buyers. And I think fourth is the other issue with EC eligibility today. Now for EC, the ones are highlighted in red here, which is the ceiling income. Actually, this was changed in 2019. It used to be 14,000, now it's 16 for the couple that is buying an EC, right? Because HDB, EC like HDB, you need to be like have HDB rules, right? Where there must be a certain family nucleus or joint single, things like that, right? Cannot own existing property. The black ones are it's like HDB ruling, right? But income ceiling of 16,000, and there's also a mortgage servicing ratio. That means how much, only 30% maximum of your income can use to service this EC loan. 30% of your income. Now, if you think about it, EC, I mean, this is something the government put in to control your you don't want to overspend on your EC, right? But the issue is today that EC prices have gone up. So in 2019, although they raised $16,000 per month, right now the EC prices are so high, even this 30% ratio, a lot of people may not be able to qualify. I think that's probably part of the problem as well, right? I think some agents have also highlighted this because EC prices have also gone up quite a fair bit since 2019. 16,000, 30% of this, which is maybe say 4,000-5,000 Sing dollars. Right, you can't use more than 4,500 Sing dollars to service the EC, the loan that you're taking on the EC, right? So I think this is also part of the problem why North Gaia didn't do well. If you look at North Gaia today, from a sales chart, this is as of 25th May, right? You can still see quite a fair bit of unit available, right? So it's difficult to say why North Gaia, other reasons for North Gaia not to do well. I think the other issue is this year there's also 4 ECs in total. I'll talk about that in later. So it could be that some EC buyers trying to see what the other three are like, right? Or they prefer the other three instead, right? Rather than buy North Gaia, because they could prefer the one Yishun, they want other places, right? So that could be the reason why the North Gaia EC didn't do well as well. But traditionally, I mean, all ECs in Singapore have sold out. I mean, prior to North Gaia, I think there's also a slide on that later. The balance stock of EC in Singapore is very low. So I do expect North Gaia to eventually sell out. It might take a bit more time than it should. But I mean, like I said, all ECs in Singapore are traditionally sold out. There's no reason why North Gaia wouldn't either, right? So yeah, that's where North Gaia is today. Okay, next one is Piccadilly Grand. So Piccadilly Grand previewed in April. This one is a project by CDL and MCL. They do a joint venture. It's basically at Farrer Park MRT, right, which is Little India area. So if you see Farrer Park MRT here, Piccadilly is actually this one over here, right? So it's directly connected to Farrer Park MRT. So it has an MRT connection. Piccadilly Grand, so City Square Malls over here. This is generally Little India Farrer Park area, right? And Piccadilly Grand also has a commercial component. The ground floor actually is commercial with a childcare center. Okay, so 1,005 square meter, which is about 15,000 square feet, quite big, yeah. 15,000 square feet for commercial area, of which 500 square meter is childcare. So 500 square meter is about 5,000 square feet, right? 5,000 plus square feet. So quite big, yeah. So F&B here and direct MRT connection. Yeah, so this one, 407 units for sale, right? They only have 3 blocks, again, north-south facing. They do have a variety of 1 bedroom to 5 bedroom, right? And another plus point is that there's a lot of empty sites here, which are for future development. And actually, during the Piccadilly preview, the government did mention that part of it will be new HDB flats. I think very likely this will be on the premium version of HDB flats, right? 1,600 units, and of course, they're going to redevelop this area, right, which is just next to Piccadilly Grand. And if you look at Piccadilly Grand on launch day, 77%. And actually, Piccadilly Grand was the first private condo to really launch in this year, in 2022, properly, big size one, right? There were some smaller projects before that, 100 unit, 20 units kind of thing. Of course, there's the EC North Gaia, and of course, North Gaia didn't do that well. So, so when coming to Piccadilly Grand, everybody was like a bit cautious, don't know whether Piccadilly Grand would do well or not. So when Piccadilly did sell 77% on the launch weekend, that was quite impressive, right? You can say Piccadilly Grand did very well. I think all the sales guys and developers are very happy to clear so many units in a short amount of time. And if you look at the sales chart today, again, also 25th May, basically all the 1-bedder, 2-bedder sold. I think they are left some 3-bedder, even 3-bedder also sold. Yes, 3-bedder also fully sold. I think they, or balance also. 3-bedder left a few units. Yeah, sorry, okay, there's some 3-bedders over here. Left basically 4-bedder and 5-bedder, basically, right? All 1-bedder, 2-bedder gone on the day itself. So not very much choice left. I think the price increased a few times on the day already. So in fact, if you want to buy today, you are paying a bit higher price, right, for Piccadilly Grand. The other thing to take note of Piccadilly Grand is actually they had over 1,500 checks collected. So if you think 407 units, this is roughly 3-4 times oversubscribed, right? 3 to 4 times oversubscribed. Of course, many of these people are looking to buy 1-bedder, 2-bedder, the investors. And you can think about it. So even if you wanted to buy 1-bedder, 2-bedder, so this go for balloting at this kind of thing, oversubscribed. Developer will do balloting, and there are a lot of people who didn't manage to buy, including some of my buyers as well. They didn't get to buy because the ballot number no good. They couldn't get the unit they want, so they didn't buy. Right, so couldn't buy. So that's what happened to Piccadilly Grand, right? Next project, of course, Live at Mountbatten. So as per the name says, Live at Mountbatten is at Mountbatten Road, East Coast, right? The short name or the actual project name is called Live at MB. Now, Live at MB also previewed, I think, early May, a few weeks ago. Basically, it's next to Katong Park MRT, right? And Katong Park MRT is part of the East Coast Line, the Thomson East Coast Line, under construction, but it should be ready in a couple of years from now, right? Live at MB is a short walk, I think about 200-300 meters away. It is an open walk, but yeah, I mean, today, a lot of people want project is near MRT. So Live, it is near MRT, right? And there are other key landmarks nearby. Of course, it's the stadium, right, which is not a short drive away, and Diamond High School, right, is also a popular school, right? So this, and of course, Live, like Piccadilly earlier, all are city fringe units, pretty near the city, with a few MRT stops you reach Singapore CBD itself. So yeah, so actually it's an en bloc project. The previous building was Katong Park Towers. Developer is Bukit Sembawang. 298 units only, and actually this project TOP a bit early. 2024, the developer has already started work, and in Mountbatten area is a pretty prime. East Coast is a premium address, right? And you can see they again have 2 blocks. Again, actually it's 4 blocks. They consider this as 4 blocks, north-south facing, right? A number of facilities. You don't get a lot of sea view actually because some of these parts are blocked, right? But this is actually, you get a lot of nice stadium view, landed view as well. Facilities are very nice. The developer did a bit of a Peranakan theme with this project, right? You can see here, right? A lot of projects will have, a lot of the units will have view of the landed housing, National Stadium in Singapore. Okay, so I want to highlight a little bit about LivMB layout, because LivMB actually I think did a very good job with their layout. Part of it, the architect did a fantastic job here. You can see that even the one bedder has an enclosed kitchen, right? This is the one bedder layout. So a lot of one bedder Singapore today, you notice you come in, you open the door, you see the kitchen on the left and the right. It's an unfortunate design, but most units are like that today. New launch because no choice the way the size is, right? So you call in, you see the kitchen on the left and the right. A lot of buildings are like that. But LivMB, the architect did, like I said, a fantastic job and managed to make sure even the one bedder, it is possible to enclose the kitchen, possible to enclose the kitchen, right? And I think if you look at all LivMB layouts, a lot of them have very nice layout where the kitchen is enclosed. I think that's why a lot of people find interesting about Liv, right? And Liv, how it performed, 75% sold on launch weekend, right? This was just a few days ago. Last weekend actually. So Liv sold 75% sold on the weekend. Very, very good. Even the price is also, I think, a very good price. The developers achieved an average of 2,387 per square foot. The one bidders were like as high as 2005, 2006 per square foot. Right, if you look at the sales chart today, they only have some 3-bedder and 4-bedder left units, right? Even the 3-bedder one also, I think these are the units which are not so nice facing, right? I think there's one stray 2-bedder here, which I think, don't know by the time of this video, you come back will be here or not, right? But yeah, so 75% sold, very, very powerful sales result. Okay, and Liv had 1,002 tracks. So similar like Piccadilly, they had oversubscription of about 3 to 4 times, right? 4 times, 5 times, no 5 times. Yeah, 300 units don't have 5 times, but 4 times oversubscribed. So again, a lot of people, if you didn't get a good ballot number, you're not able to buy. Okay, not able. So nowadays, need luck also. Want to buy property, need luck. No luck, cannot buy. Okay, the unit. Okay, so say, wow, Ryan, how I feel stressed. If you are a property buyer today, maybe you feel a bit stressed because it's good to be a seller. If you're a developer, you're a seller, you can sell a lot, sell at a high price, right? Even in the resale market today, a lot of owners are happy to sell because they can get a good price. But if you're a buyer, you stress because it is a seller's market today. So are they still good buys? A few things to consider. Maybe let's take stock about where we are in the Singapore market today. First of all, I think land cost is pretty high. A lot of projects that are launching this year in 2022, land cost is pretty high. All 1,000, 1,001, 1,001, 1,002 per square foot land alone. And if you consider that construction costs also high, right? Construction costs also high because of COVID, right? COVID disrupt a lot of things, and worker come back, inflation because of Ukraine-Russia war, things like that. So construction cost is higher today. If you factor in developer profit, right, a lot of projects will have to sell at 2,000 per square foot or higher, right? So the new norm in Singapore for new norm for Singapore new launch will be 2,000 per square foot or higher. I think you will very, very unlikely see anything below 2,000 per square foot on average for new launch, right? Anyway, I'm talking about anywhere in Singapore. I don't care the project where, right? All will be 2,000 PSF or higher. Anything that new launch this year, okay? EC will probably be around 1,003, like what you see in North Gaia, right? Also not cheap, right? And the other thing that is also very chalat in the sense is that GST is coming, right? GST is coming next year, 2024 maybe. So GST will again push up construction costs to some level. So sometimes we tell buyer, right? Sometimes, hey, expensive, but how? I mean, it's the way it is, right? Land price per construction cost. How do you run away from all this? You cannot change it, right? You cannot tell developer to cut all these things, how to cut. The price is at that. So actually, anyway, Singapore property price is like this because it's like this, right? You cannot reduce land price, you cannot reduce construction cost. It's very difficult, right? So 2,000 per square foot higher will be norm. You have to absorb this. Take a minute and think about it. 2,000 will be normal moving forward. You just let it absorb. Maybe a bit incredulous, but that's what's going to happen, right? Number two, why do people still buy new launch even though prices are high? Because we have seen in the past few years that any new launch in Singapore will have some kind of capital appreciation upon DOP. I mean, I won't say all, but easily we can say 9 out of 10, even 9 out of 10, what I'm trying to say is anecdotal, right? For the past 5-6 years, at least, right? Any new launch in Singapore, upon DOP, you see a capital appreciation. How much capital appreciation? Of course, depends on what you buy, where you buy, right? What price you manage to go in, right? But yeah, a majority of new launch in Singapore have capital appreciation, and because of this, a lot of people are still willing to buy because they want to bet and make money from this capital appreciation. So they invest in 1 bedder, 2 bedder in that sense. Some people buy bigger because they want new unit own stay. But this is what a lot of people are looking for, right? The capital appreciation upon DOP. I have a theory that why new launch get capital appreciation upon DOP, because once you DOP, there'll be a lot of units which are what you call in limbo, and they need to transact. Either buy, they need to sell, right? Because they are as an investment, or they rent out. So it's a lot of transaction, right, for a newly DOP project. And because there's a lot of transaction, there's a lot of chance for the price to go up, right? Especially if land prices have gone up. So because land prices have gone up these past few years, condo price upon DOP also go up because the land price of new launch push the resale price, right? And this is why condo upon DOP, when they become resale, their prices move up as well. Okay, as long as land prices rise, right? Third is that supply demand in scenario in Singapore is still very tight. The truth is, the other big reason why Singapore prices have been moving up is because there's not much supply. Demand is still quite strong as because of delay for construction, a lot of HDB delay, right? Costs have gone up, borders are reopening, so all the foreigners are coming back to Singapore to work, right? Economy reopening. So but you can't build a property in 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, right? So the supply situation is very tight. Rentals are soaring. A lot of rentals have gone up. So this is indicative to show that supply demand scenario in Singapore still very tight. So a lot of people still need to buy house for basic needs, right? To stay, right? And government also there's only that much land they can release every year, right? So if you think about all these three things, these are the reasons why where we are today. So if people ask me, Ryan, new launch expensive in 2,000, what can I look at? Or is there something else that I can do to get advantage? Number one, consider private resale. There's a lot of private resale is also not easy. There's a lot of time need to spend to hunt down what private resale you want to buy. They may not necessarily be cheap, but they are definitely cheaper than new launch. They're definitely cheaper than new launch. They may not necessarily be cheap historically in that project, but they're cheaper than new launch. Of course, private resale you can see a lot of things, right? Condition, quality, and of course the value. We buy the value, the immediate value of a private resale is better because private resale will tend to be cheaper than new launch, right? Number two, balance unit from earlier launches, right? I talk about it in some of my earlier videos, right? Where we look at certain project, right? Launch 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, where they still have some stock. And because the projects were launched last time, their land price is lower, they can still sell you cheaper, right? Compared to the new launch today, right? This is another way to look at it. You still buy project, but you don't buy from project that they are launching this year. When you buy project they are launching 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where they still got some balance, right? And they will be cheaper than today's new launch. That's the other way to see. The third one, of course, is you totally swing the other direction. You go commercial, you go industrial, you go foreign property, right? Some people are starting to look at that now because residential in Singapore, there's always limitation on how many you can buy. But if you look at these categories, of course, it's a totally different story together. We have to do entirely many videos to talk about commercial, industrial, and foreign properties, right? Like I do some videos about Malaysia and JB. So if you like to consider JB, you can watch those videos as well, right? Of course, there's a lot more value in these areas, but that's our topic today. But yes, if you don't want to buy private residential new launch, in this year, these are the things you can consider to look at from a different perspective. Okay. Ultimately, a lot of people are looking at price, right? A lot of decisions are made for price and price to value. For this price, am I getting the value that I think is worth it or not, right? And different people have different objectives in terms of what is worth it, right? So what's coming up next? So right, so these 3 projects are come and dusted. I said I didn't have interest in it, or I didn't like those 3. What's the next hot project that's coming up? So if you look at land sales this year, right? These are the land sales this year. So far, the government have one, right, that have issued, right? The Jalan Tembusu one already sold, right? CDL won it 1,003, yeah. So actually, also not cheap. This will be 2,000, 2003 PSF and above kind of price range, right? Lentor, there's going to be a lot of project coming up with Lentor in the future, right? Lentor is also next to an upcoming MRT, right? And Gokoland got it 1,000, right? And of course, Simlian won Dairy Farm at 980. Say, hey Ryan, it's 1,980 price, not bad. It's cheaper than some of the recent. Yeah, I think the reason why they also bought a bit cheaper because they buy between the cooling measure in December last year until Piccadilly launch, right? I suspect moving forward, number 4, 5, 6, 7, you see here, prices will go up again for land price because the developer is confident after they see Piccadilly and LivMB launch, right? They may be a bit higher. Okay, but I think Gokoland and Simland for number 2, number 3 managed to snatch a bit cheaper land price at these 2 purchases. But still, I mean, it's unlikely they will sell below 1,000 PSF. I mean, below 2,000 PSF. The end project will be around 2,000 per square foot end of the day, right? For these projects, these are for land sales, right? So you see, only 7 sites for half one, not a lot. If you think about it, if Singapore government want to really solve the supply problem, they can release more, but only got 7 sites. Right? Maybe the developer will go at the reserve. I think that's the plan. Buy from the reserve list. Okay. There's a big mega site, the one at Dunman Road, which is also Mountbatten. It's a big site. We may see 1,003, 1,004. This is the biggest site we probably see so far, 1.3 billion. Something to look at. I think all these tenders close in early of June. Right, and this will give us an idea again whether property price will move up, because all land price always play a very big factor in Singapore, whether property price go up or go down. Okay, yeah, just now I mentioned the top about EC. So prior to North Gaia, right, actually, like I said, the balance supply of EC Singapore only got 47. Okay, so before North Gaia launched this year, right, you want to buy EC, only got 47 units. 3 project, Ola, Province, Park Green, which only got 3, and this was of course in March. This was a March update, right? If you want to buy in Singapore, only got 47 units. Of course, then North Gaia come in now, you got more choice. You got North Gaia now still got maybe another 400 units available over there, right? But actually, like I said, this year actually there's 4 EC, right? North Gaia is only 1. Actually, if you look at land price perspective, they're all roughly the same. North Gaia actually is the so-called the cheapest. So if you talk about price and you say North Gaia at 1,003 is expensive, wow, then the other 3 EC all coming also will jialat. The one in Tengah Garden, right? He's at $600. The one in Tampines is 659. Bukit Batok is 662. I think a lot of people are aiming the Tampines one, the Tampines EC, because Tampines, of course, location-wise, among these 4, Tampines is the most prime location and the best address of the 4. I think some people may like the Tengah one, play a bit on the Punggol, maybe Tengah takes Punggol story, right? The Bukit Batok one is a bit not here, not there, right? Something like Yishun, right? But I think Tampines is the one that most people are aiming to go after in terms of EC. But their land price is also not cheap, right? At 659, so they also have to sell around 1,003, 1,004 PSF for EC, also not cheap. So I'm not sure how well EC will perform this year, considering this situation, unless the government tweak again the eligibility rules for EC. Okay, the next big private launch, of course, is Amo Residence. Okay, some of you may be thinking, right, how come got such a name? Okay, I didn't choose the name, the developer chose the name. I think the name is a bit to be discussed, right? But this is the developer chose the name Amo. It's a joint venture by UOL and Keng Leong, right? So normally UOL Keng Leong do very nice stuff, right? Premium project. So Amore Residence, this is in Ang Mo Kio, as the name suggests, right? The land is a bit of a triangle, which is probably not the best, but I mean, yeah, a lot of projects are triangle today. So triangle shaped plot of land. The biggest plus point we'll talk about later, this Ang Mo Kio area. So this Ang Mo Kio Avenue 1, this is a Bishan Park, right? So Bishan's at the bottom, right? And basically Ang Mo Kio is over here. You go up north a bit, it's just Thomson already. So this map may be too small. Let me cover the key plus points. First of all, is the distance to Mayflower MRT, roughly 400 meters. You can't really walk direct though. I mean, depends on what the developer build. There may be some back lane or back gate cut through the HDB. We're not sure yet till the developer release more details. But generally speaking, the distance is about 400 meters to MRT. That's a good point. Now, as Singapore have more and more MRT, more and more condo also will be near MRT. So this is the Thomson line, which I think they're going to complete this one end of this year though. Mayflower MRT should be completed somewhere end of this year. So of course, the total MRT Thomson East Coast line will go all the way to East Coast. I think that's by 2025, like what is highlighted over here. So number one plus point, you are not far from MRT, which is of course always good. Number two is there are two primary schools which a lot of people like, CHIJ St. Nicholas, Aitong Primary. These two are within 1 kilometer. This is again a big plus point. A lot of people will buy for this reason alone, proximity to schools. All right, number three is that of course to the north a little bit of this location is the Lower Pierce Reservoir, right, which is a very popular reservoir that a lot of people enjoy, right, and it's quite green as well, right. So Armour Residence, the preview will be June. The other reason I think why this project will also receive a lot of interest because Ang Mo Kio actually has not seen new private condo launch for over 8 years. I think over 8 years. Quite a long time already. I can't remember. About 8 years. I think thinking about the last one, that was about roughly 8 years ago, right? So there hasn't been any new condo launch in Ang Mo Kio for a long time. And Ang Mo Kio is a big place. Ang Mo Kio is a popular place, so a lot of people will come and see Amore Residence, right? And I think UOL will be quite confident moving into this June preview, looking at the previous trends of what LivMB and Piccadilly Grand have done, right? So I think Amore Residence will also sell very well, right? The previews in June. If you're interested to find out more about Armour Residents, I hope you can give me a call, right? My number is down here below, right? 812-61626. You can drop me an email or leave a comment on my YouTube. I'm more than happy to chat about Singapore property market, Malaysia property market, anything you might find, any property market, right? I do read up about real estate across the world quite a fair bit, and we can talk more. And hope you enjoyed my video today. If you like what I talked about today and want to find out more about Armour Residents and bring you to the preview, do like, share, subscribe, drop me a comment, drop me a mail. Thank you very much. Hope to see you guys soon.